Curling is a unique sport, sometimes described as a cross between shuffleboard and checkers, and of course, all taking place on a sheet of ice. Curling rinks are ubiquitous across Canada, and here in Lethbridge, it is no different. To chat more about curling today, we are joined by Kirk Mearns, the General Manager for the Lethbridge Curling Club. Great to have you with us today, Kirk.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, I love chatting about, well, and playing curling. It's you and I
Right?
were just chatting before we got started that I need to get signed up for the curling league in my community. Can you share with us a little bit of the history of the Lethbridge Curling Club?
Yeah, the Lethbridge Curling Club has been it's been around a long time. It's over 125 years. It started as a lot of winter sports do, outdoors on frozen ponds and wherever ice could be formed. We moved indoors in the early 1900s when they started to figure out sort of they could make ice indoors, but curling really came into its own in the 50s when artificial ice was developed and we could start to really move indoors and make ice when we wanted it and make it the way we wanted to. So the Lethbridge Curling Club was at the old Civic Center since 1950, so for 66 years. We've been in the community a long time.
That's great. And so what have been some of the major bonspiels that have been here in Lethbridge?
Lethbridge has been really lucky. We've hosted all of the big major national bonspiels. We've had the Scotties a couple of times, World Men's, World Women's. We had the the Briar just a couple of years ago, which was fantastic. The club has hosted the World Seniors, the World Mixed Doubles. We've been very lucky to host pretty much all of the major curling events.
Wow, that's great. So what is it about the sport of curling that you think really draws people in?
I think it's something that you can do from 9 to 90. It's easy to learn and impossible to master. Um, we we find it's a sense of community. People, you get together, it's fun. Um, they can enjoy the social aspect of it. And I think it boils down to it's it's an open sport where people can learn. It's not expensive. It's easy to get in, and curling clubs are just welcoming places.
Right. And once again, circling back to you and I chatting briefly before we got started, there is that it's an iconic Canadian thing, the smell of the rink. And I know for myself, thinking of those childhood Saturday nights or something, leaving the farm to go to the curling club. Can you talk a little bit about that community building aspect of curling?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that hasn't changed. We're an activity where if mom and dad want to come and curl on a Saturday afternoon in one of our leagues or Saturday night, bring the kids, let them run around and have some fun and sit down and have a pop and some French fries while mom and dad are curling. Chance to get them involved. It's a real family activity and very, like I say, open, welcoming. We're a sport that wants to include everybody, wants to continue to grow.
Yeah. Now, speaking about our Lethbridge curling facility specifically, how does that compare with other facilities in the province?
We're one of the brand newest, if not the newest. We're only 8 years old. We were lucky to work with the city and get a new curling club built when we built the Cavendish Center here on the west side. We're 10 sheets. We are uh, one of the largest. There are only a couple of 10 sheeters in Alberta right now. We're brand new. We have state of the art equipment, state of the art ice making plant, and a wonderful viewing area open to everybody. So it's a brand new facility that is um, as good as there is in Alberta right now.
Wow, that sounds great. So how many members do you currently have in the club?
We have about 600 full-time members. We have We average around 60 juniors in our program. We have a couple of what we would call leagues that just come in and rent. So we have over 1,000 people curling per week in the club in various times. We start curling at 10 in the morning and people are curling at 10 at night.
Wow. That's a significant activity and group of people if you have 1,000 people per week during the season.
Yeah,
That's,
we're one of the busiest clubs in Alberta for sure.
wow. And so how does the Lethbridge Curling Club serve the local seniors?
That's fantastic. We have our daytime senior league that runs Tuesday to Friday. It's a really easy league to get into. It runs in very short, sort of little 5-week groups. We put people together on teams. If you don't have a team, you just show up, and we put you together with all of our other seniors. Seniors are a big part of our club, and they spend a significant amount of time here during the day, just curling and making friends and spending time.
Yeah, that community aspect of curling is enormous. Now, how about the other end of the age spectrum? Those students, are there school clubs or let's say phys ed classes that go curling?
Yeah, we have our own junior program that runs on Wednesdays, and that's for kids 9 to 15. We host a high school league. High schools come in Monday and Tuesday, and all the high schools get together and they come in. Very significant, probably the biggest in the province again. Gym classes book our during the school year. We have probably 8 or 10 different schools that bring their gym classes in for an hour at a time, and we have some instructors that pop out there and help out the teachers because a lot of times they don't know how to curl either, and it's all a part of how busy we are and how connected to the community we are.
Right. Now, just to stick with that younger generation for a moment, do you see that there is that interest from the younger generation to be in leagues?
There is, and it's curling has sort of fills that gap. There's a lot of kids that just aren't going to play hockey. They're going to play soccer or whatever it is. But during the school year, they can curl. Anybody can come out. Like I say, we can teach anybody how to curl. It's, nobody sits out. If you come out, you play. There's no sitting on the sidelines. There's no, 6 a.m. practices in the morning, games at 9 o'clock at night. Parents love bringing their kids to curling because they know when it is every week, and their kids have a great time playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly have fond memories from my youth of throwing the rocks down the sheets. And
as do I, but mine was a little bit longer ago than yours.
Well, they're still locked in there, and
Right
I know I would probably be remiss not to mention my high school friend Steve Fisher. His family was all over the sheets of ice there in and around Medicine Hat. But now, what about provincial winning teams or maybe future Olympians that might be calling Lethbridge home?
Yeah, we've had some success with some of our competitive curlers, our competitive juniors coming out of here. Kaylee Shannon, the Whitmire brothers. They're like on the verge now of moving to that next elite level, and you never know. You never know sort of how a team gets put together or how it goes. Of course, we have the Scheidegger family with Casey and Jesse. Casey took a bit of step back to start her family. And I'm pretty sure she'll be back into it right away. And Jesse's still curling at a high competitive level. So, the curling, the Olympic trials are this November. So you never know who might get up there and get on a hot streak, and we'll see them on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always great to watch. Now, I wanted to ask you about the cost to join and play in a league.
Yeah, it's curling very reasonable. To be a member of our club, right? Just to be a member and to access practice ice and come in is only $70 a year to be a member of Lethbridge Curling Club. Our main weekday leagues, our big leagues, our big adult leagues, about $380 for the whole season to play. Kids play for less than half of that. Our seniors play for less than that. So for around $400 or less, you can curl for a full season, and you get access to as much practice ice as you want, and instruction, and use of our lounge and all of our other facilities.
Right. Well, that sounds very reasonable for what a person's going to get out of it, and especially the cost of entertainment these days. It's great to be physically active and be out on the sheets of ice. Now, I wanted to ask you, we all probably remember the old straw brooms. So if somebody wants to get into this, what are they looking at as far as equipment costs go?
To just get started, the club will loan you, all you need is a pair of sneakers and a pair of gloves. And if you come out to learn how to curl, we've got some learn to curls. We have brooms you can borrow. We've got sliders that you can slide on. We have all the stuff that you can borrow. So basically, like I say, all you need is a pair of clean runners and a pair of gloves, and you can learn. And even after that, as you start to progress through, it's not that expensive. A broom is $100, and a pair of shoes is $150, and they last for 4 seasons, type of thing. So it's a very inexpensive sport. As you get more competitive, of course, the costs go up. But yeah, starting in curling is as inexpensive as you can get.
Good. Well, hopefully some of the people who are watching this that are looking for something to do through the winter would reach out to the Lethbridge Curling Club.
I hope so. We have our Learn to Curls at September 25th and 26th. We'll get that out on our social media channels and in our advertising, and let people know. And we welcome everybody. If you've never curled before in your life, doesn't really matter. Come on in, and we'll teach you how to curl.
Yeah. Now, before we wrap up, speaking of that person that's never curled before and is thinking of something to do, what would be your sage advice to them?
Come on down and try it. It can't hurt to try it. We have our instructors are so good. They're so patient. They will show everybody. You don't have to be super athletic to learn how to curl. And it's the old thing. You got to feel, a little bit of bad knees, something. We've got devices to help you, get the rock down the ice, help you sweep, help you get it all done. But I think my advice is just try. Just come on out and try it.
Yeah, because it's not that physically demanding of a sport, is it?
At the beginning level, no, it's not. Right? Once we teach you how to sweep and you learn how to do that, you'll want to get a little bit better and a little bit more exertion. And of course, the pros at the top level is as physically demanding as any sport. But yeah, to get started, no, you can, we can. It's a recreation at the beginning.
Yes.
Right. It just turns into a sport as it goes along.
Yeah. Now, here's kind of an off-the-wall topic, or question, I should say. So how heavy are the curling stones? We don't have to lift them, thankfully. We can slide them around. But what does one of those things weigh?
They are 40 pounds.
Okay. Well, not bad.
They're 40 pounds worth of granite. So they slide along. We got to push them about 145 feet down the ice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And smooth as silk most of the time.
Smooth as silk. The running band on the bottom touches about 1/8 of an inch of the rock is riding on the ice. And the technology around pebbling and turning it and curling it it's state of the art now. So it's smooth. It's smoothly roll. It just slides down there.
Totally. And I think I was told once when I was much younger, if you fall, we'll just push you along too, and you can end up in the house. But
right. Hopefully you bounce back up quick enough before we have to slide you along.
Yeah, that's right. So when this new season, well, I guess the new season is beginning, how do people register to participate in the club?
We have an online registration system through our website at lethbridgecurlingclub.com. Or once the office is open, you can come on in and talk to us, and we can register you here. We can give you a tour of the facilities and just give you a whole overview of what you can expect. So online, in person.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you talked about the Learn to Curl. Are there any other events that are going to be coming up as we get closer to November, December?
We are hosting, one of the things that we did mention is in February this year, the Lethbridge Curling Club is hosting the university and college Canadian championships in our club. Yeah, the U Sports and the CCAA curling championships. So that's a big deal. We'll have 32 teams from across Canada of university and college students here curling with opportunity to go to the Worlds. So it's a big deal. They'll be here for a week.
Wow, that's exciting. That
Yeah.
is a big deal.
It is.
So that's February 2025.
Correct.
Kirk, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. I love talking about curling.